May December is based on a true story and it's a romance drama movie directed by Todd Haynes, who also directed The Carol on 2015. Same as Carol, May December is a feminine film and mostly focused on two women. I will talk about the real life characters at the end of the video. If you are interested, so stay with me. First, let's have a look on a plot and then we will see if the movie is worth watching or not. But I must say, this episode is full of spoilers. Elizabeth, played by Natalie Portman, is a TV show actress, not a well-known Hollywood one. She had also played one or two sexual scenes and everybody knows her by those scenes. Now she wants to play in a film based on a true story. So she met Gracie, the woman that Elizabeth wants to play her role. Gracie is a woman who had seduced a 12-year-old boy named Joe, who was in the same age with Gracie's son. This happened at the beginning of 90s when she was about 36. She went to jail for that and she gave birth there. After Gracie's time in prison, Gracie and Joe started a new life together. They have children now and Gracie believes their relationship is based on true love. Elizabeth wants to spend more time with Gracie in order to know her better and get into her role. What's so interesting about this film is the similarity between Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman's character in the film. At first, it seems that they have nothing in common, but actually as the film goes on, you will notice this similarity. Especially when Elizabeth had sex with Joe. Joe thought that because there were some chemistry between them, but actually Elizabeth did it in order to get close to Gracie's character because of her role. What Elizabeth and Gracie did to Joe was not comparable at all, but the consequence, the result was the same. Joe emotionally gets hurt badly. He lost his everything in his life. He just jumped from childhood to adult's life without having teenagehood or younghood. You feel it more when he is smoking weed with his son and says he had never tried before. Joe was just a victim in his whole life.
I've never done that.
What?
You don't have to expect climax, rise and fall in this film. The story is just flat psychological drama which is trying to show the disorders in personality of three persons: Joe, Gracie and Elizabeth. There are some metaphors in this film which I really like them. As you know, butterflies are the symbol of change in our life, and Joe used to take care of butterflies and raise them. The scene that Joe is releasing a butterfly is meant to show that Joe's changes itself. After that scene, Joe just changed. He noticed that that's not a life he always wished for. Although he has a secret relationship with a girl who we don't know her, we don't see her at all in the film, but Joe is constantly texting to her and it seems that they have more in common. That was all about the film, and I think the film is not everyone's cup of tea. As I said, there is no climax, there is no rise and there is no fall. It's just a flat psychological movie. And if you remember, I said this story is based on a true story. So let's see who is the real Gracie and Joe. Mary Kay Letourneau, a middle school teacher who began sexually abusing a 12-year-old boy, Follow, who was his student. Mary became pregnant with Follow's child, and on March 1997, she was arrested for child rape and she was sentenced to 7 years in prison. After her time in prison, they got married, but they officially divorced in 2019. Letourneau's attorney, David Girk, once said they were totally in love, but sometimes people who are totally in love have trouble staying in love. Finally, Letourneau died of cancer in 2020, and Follow currently became a grandfather. I hope you enjoyed this episode and the story both. Now let's see the rates. The IMDb rate to this movie is 7.1, Rotten Tomato is 92 and Metacritic is 85, and my rate to this movie is 8 out of 10. Generally the film is like those kind of films that you may just hate it or you just enjoy it. So it's completely up to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please tap the subscribe button, then send it to your friends. If there's any question, any mistake or any suggestion, please let me know. Love you all. See you soon.